What's up internet, Kevin here on TLD. Now when it comes to beautiful and high quality original games for the iOS, few titles are as iconic as the original Infinity Blade. And now, coinciding with the release of iOS 7, we finally have the third and possibly final part of the trilogy. Now in all honesty, this is by far my most favorite iOS franchise, and there's very few games coming out for my phone that make me this excited. So let's go ahead and take a look and see if it lives up to its predecessors. So to begin with, let's talk about what really hasn't changed between 2 and 3. First off, there's the core dynamic of the game, which is very much the same series of kill bosses, get money to buy new gear, equip new gear to level up as much as you can, die while fighting a boss and restarting on a higher difficulty, and just wash, rinse, and repeat until you're strong enough to kill the big bad evil guy at the end of the game. Now some of the things that were added in 2 are still intact, such as the gem augmentation system and the main character having 3 different fighting styles. What's new, however, is actually quite a lot, with the first and biggest one being the fact that you now control 2 separate characters, each with their own XP tracks, equipment, and fighting styles. Now levels in this one are a lot more linear than they were in 1 or 2, but that's because there is now several of them as opposed to just one big one, and the game now gives you a home base that you can make use of to prepare at in between levels. Here, players can make use of a number of shops, including a potion maker that can take ingredients you find to make useful potions to use before fights, a gem cutter who allows you to fuse 3 gems into one new one, and a blacksmith that can take your mastered weapons and increase their level, allowing them to deal higher damage and have a whole new XP track to level up through. Stats have received a change as well. While the stats themselves are the same, now there are special unlocks for getting each stat to a certain point, making somewhat balanced growth very advisable for your first or second playthrough. The game also now uses 2 different forms of currency rather than just the one. Gold is still used for buying and selling weapons, but now the game uses battle chips for purchasing special items like potions or prize wheels, as well as for speeding up the different crafting services. Gold is earned the regular way, while battle chips are gained completing special optional combat goals or getting in-game achievements. Now the story in this one is a lot more fleshed out than it was in the first 2, but this is also because it makes use of a lot of plot elements that were introduced in the book series, so if you haven't read those, you might find yourself a little lost. Thankfully, the game does a good enough job of keeping you up to date while not bogging you down with too many details. Now, as I said, the levels in this one are a lot more linear, but there's also a lot more content and diversity overall, thanks to the fact that the game makes use of a world map and several different dungeons that you visit. Now, alongside playing the game's main story missions, there's also a number of timed side missions you can also participate in, including trials that reward you for skilled gameplay, or clash mobs that reward several players at once for reaching an overall goal. The levels themselves also include just a little bit of randomness, including a dragon that will sometimes attack you and either insta-kill you because you fail an input, or you survive just long enough to get a few hits in and slowly kill it each time you meet it. So overall, Infinity Blade 3 is very much the same game at its core, but offers a lot more overall content than prior entries, and is definitely a huge time sink for anyone who's dedicated to making their characters as powerful as possible, especially thanks to the fact that there's now 2 of them to level up, and you can reset weapon XP, which just makes the max level all the higher. This game is easily worth the $6.99 price tag, and fans of the series will not be disappointed, and those of you that haven't tried the series yet, this is definitely a good one to get in on, especially if you love action RPG hybrids. Well, there's our review of Infinity Blade 3. If you guys enjoyed this vid, please make sure to hit that like button to let us know, and if you played it yourself, let us know what you think of the game in the comments. And if you have yet to, please make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of our upcoming reviews and unboxings. Till next time, I'm Kevin for TLD, and thank you so much for watching.